What are you doing? Whoa!
1982, during a concert, bit the head off a live bat on stage. Kelly sharing her son's adorable recreation on Instagram All Hallows Eve.
Many still remember that wild, unforgettable moment when the late Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off a live bat during a show in Des Moines, Iowa. It wasn't just another shocking headline, it was the moment that defined his reputation as the legendary Prince of Darkness. The world looked on in disbelief, but to Ozzy, it was just another chaotic night on stage that would go down in rock history. And now, years later, it seems that legacy is living on in the most unexpected way, through his own grandson. Fans online are calling him the mini Prince of Darkness. It's both heartwarming and haunting to see how the spirit of Ozzy, that raw energy, that fearless personality, that dark sense of humor is showing up in the next generation. In family photos and videos shared by Kelly and Jack, you can see it, that mischievous spark in the boy's eyes, the way he moves, even the way he laughs.
I don't want everybody to see.
It's like Ozzy never really left. For the Osbourne family, it's a strange comfort, a reminder that even though the man who changed rock forever is gone, his essence, his energy, and his wild legacy live on in the people who loved him most. Ozzy's influence was never about being dark or evil. It was about being unapologetically himself, breaking every rule and living loud in a world that tried to silence him. And now that same rebellious spirit seems to be growing in the next generation of Osbournes, a living tribute to the Prince of Darkness himself. In case you missed it, something truly special happened this Halloween. Kelly Osbourne, the daughter of the late Ozzy Osbourne, shared a short video on Instagram that instantly went viral, and fans can't stop talking about it. The clip showed her little boy dressed up for Halloween, and in just a few seconds it managed to melt hearts and spark waves of nostalgia. Kelly kept her caption simple, writing, "Happy Halloween," but it was the symbolism that hit fans the hardest. The bat emoji, the same creature forever tied to Ozzy's wild rock legacy, wasn't just a festive touch. It was a quiet, emotional nod to her father.
Seated by his infamy.
I looked evidently through an unconscious bat on the stage, and he thought it was a rubber bat, whatever, and he picked it up and bit the head off. And someone's going, "Yummy, it's real." I'm going, what?
The man who became a legend for shocking the world on stage, and then went on to show us all the softer, more human side of himself as a husband and father. Fans flooded the comments with messages of love, laughter, and tears. Many pointed out how Kelly's son looked like a miniature version of his grandfather, full of energy, curiosity, and that same spark that made Ozzy unforgettable. Others said it felt like Ozzy's presence was still around, especially through the love and spirit his family continues to share. For Kelly, this simple post wasn't just a Halloween moment, it was a tribute. A way to say, "Dad, you're still here with us." And for fans around the world, it was a reminder that legends never truly die. They live on through family, through memories, and sometimes through the smallest moments caught on camera. In the video, little Sidney, Kelly Osbourne's son, can be seen doing something that made fans everywhere burst out laughing and tearing up at the same time. The adorable toddler is seen channeling his late grandpa in the most unexpected way. He picks up a stuffed bat toy, bites the head off, and then bursts into a fit of giggles. For longtime Ozzy fans, that moment felt like pure magic. It was funny, sweet, and strangely touching all at once, a tiny echo of one of the most infamous moments in rock history. When Ozzy Osbourne did it back in 1982, it was the headline heard around the world, shocking, controversial, and forever sealing his reputation as the Prince of Darkness. But seeing little Sidney do it, decades later, gave the moment a whole new meaning. This time, it wasn't chaos or rebellion, it was legacy. It was family. It was a little boy unknowingly paying tribute to his legendary grandfather, who redefined what it meant to be a rock star. Fans absolutely lost it in the comments. Some wrote that it was the most Osbourne thing ever, while others joked that Ozzy must be smiling from heaven, proud that the family spirit, that wild, untamed Osbourne energy lives on. It wasn't just a funny Halloween clip. It was a moment that connected generations. The wild stage performer, the loving father, and now the curious little grandson carrying that spark forward in his own innocent way. Fans immediately flooded Kelly's comment section with love, laughter, and a touch of nostalgia. Many couldn't help but point out how perfectly that little moment captured the spirit of the Osbourne family. One fan wrote, "I just know this one made Papa giggle," a message that tugged at the heartstrings of everyone who's ever loved Ozzy. Another added, "He's definitely an Osbourne, and honestly, we couldn't have said it better ourselves." In just a few seconds, little Sidney reminded the world that Ozzy's legacy isn't just about music or controversy, it's about personality, humor, and that unmistakable spark that made him unforgettable. Even though Ozzy is no longer with us, moments like these show that his presence is still felt, in the laughter of his grandson, in the strength of his family, and in the love that continues to surround his memory. It's as if through Sidney's innocent laughter, the world got a glimpse of Ozzy smiling down, proud, amused, and forever the heart of the Osbourne family. For those who might not know the full story, Kelly Osbourne and Sid Wilson's love story is one that feels straight out of a rock and roll fairy tale, one that took over 2 decades to finally come full circle. The two first crossed paths all the way back in 1999 at Ozfest, the legendary music festival founded by Kelly's parents, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne. At the time, Kelly was just a teenager, and Sid was already making waves as a member of the heavy metal band Slipknot. Their connection was instant but purely friendly, two people growing up in the wild, unpredictable world of music. For years, they stayed in each other's lives as friends, supporting one another through different relationships, struggles, and phases of fame. But then something shifted. At the end of 2021 or early 2022, that longtime friendship suddenly turned into something much deeper. Kelly and Sid's bond blossomed into a full-blown romance, surprising fans but also making perfect sense. They had known each other for over 20 years, they understood each other's worlds, their chaos, and their hearts. Kelly once described their connection as meant to be, and when you see them together, it's hard to disagree. In November 2022, the couple welcomed their first child, a beautiful baby boy named Sidney, a name that carries both love and legacy. Kelly has often spoken about how becoming a mother changed her completely, calling it the most grounding experience of her life. For her, little Sidney isn't just her son, he's a symbol of hope, healing, and new beginnings after years of ups and downs. Then in 2025, their love story took another beautiful step forward when Sid proposed, and Kelly said yes. It was a full circle moment, more than 2 decades in the making, and one that even Ozzy and Sharon would have smiled about. From teenage friends to soulmates and now parents, Kelly and Sid's story shows that sometimes, love has its own timing. It may take years, even decades, but when it finally happens, it feels just right. In a previous interview with E! News, Kelly Osbourne opened up about a chapter of her life that has completely changed her motherhood. Her voice softened as she spoke, her words filled with love, vulnerability, and honesty. She said, "I'm a mom now. I love it. It's the best thing that has ever happened to me." You could hear the pride in her tone, but also the weight of responsibility that comes with raising a tiny human. Kelly didn't sugarcoat it. She admitted that while motherhood is beautiful, it's also one of the scariest things she's ever experienced. "It's scary as fet," she confessed candidly, "because you don't want to make a mistake." That raw honesty struck a chord with so many parents who felt the exact same fear. The fear of not being enough, of doing something wrong, of realizing there's no handbook for this. Kelly went on to explain that being a mom means learning through trial and error, through sleepless nights and moments of self-doubt. It's all these little tiny things, she said, and these mistakes that you ultimately make because you can't learn unless you make a mistake. It's just unfortunate that you have to do it with a baby. Her words revealed a softer, deeply human side of Kelly, far from the glitz of fame or the chaos of her family's rock and roll history. It was a side of her that was learning patience, humility, and unconditional love. For someone who grew up under the world's spotlight, Kelly's journey into motherhood showed that at her core, she's just like any other parent, trying her best, loving fiercely, and learning as she goes. In many ways, life has come full circle for Kelly Osbourne. The little girl who once ran through the halls of her family's chaotic home, surrounded by fame, laughter, and the thunder of heavy metal, is now a mother herself, nurturing a new generation of Osbourne spirit. And as she watches her son Sidney laugh, play, and even honor his late grandfather in the most adorable way, she's reminded that love never truly dies. Ozzy Osbourne may be gone, but his legacy lives on, not just in his music, not just in the records and sold-out shows, but in the small, everyday moments that connect his family to him. The sound of laughter in Kelly's home, the way her son's eyes light up when he smiles, the bat toy that made millions laugh online, all of it is a reflection of the energy Ozzy carried through life, bold, wild, and full of heart. For Kelly, motherhood hasn't been about perfection. It's been about learning, stumbling, and getting back up again, about realizing that love means doing your best, even when you're terrified of failing. Her journey has been one of transformation, from rock star's daughter, to artist, to mother, and through it all, she's carried the lessons her father taught her, to be brave, to laugh through the pain, and to never lose the spark that makes you who you are. And now, as she builds a family of her own with Sid Wilson, Kelly is writing a new chapter, one filled with the echoes of the past, but grounded in the beauty of the present. Her father's spirit, her mother's strength, and her own resilience all blend together in this new story, one of healing, growth, and enduring love. What we see now isn't just a tribute to a rock legend or a viral Halloween video, it's a continuation of a legacy. The Osbourne name carries laughter, rebellion, and heart, and through little Sidney, it lives on. As fans continue to send their love, remembering Ozzy for the icon he was, there's comfort in knowing that his energy still fills the world through his music, his family, and the generations that will carry his wild, beautiful spirit forward. Because in the end, that's what family truly is, a chain of love that can never be broken. And though Ozzy's voice may have fallen silent, his song, the one written in the hearts of those he loved, will keep playing forever.